Okay, Wildcats. Today we're going to turn on page 58, solving real-world rational equations. Solving real-world rational equations steps. Step 1, identify the important information. Step 2, complete the table. Step 3, write the equation. Step 4, solve the equation. All right, I'll go ahead and update your notes. All right, example 1. A save percentage in lacrosse is found by dividing the number of saves by the number of shots faced. A lacrosse goalie saved 3 of 11 shots. How many additional consecutive saves X must the goalie make to raise his percentage to 0.65? Okay. Step 1. Identify the important information. So the goalie saved 3 shots and the goalie faced 11 shots. So the goalie's current save percentage is 3 divided by 11, which, let's go ahead and use our Inspire, which Control divide 3 divided by 11, Control Enter, and that is 0.27, and the 7 rounds at 2 to a 3, so 0.73. And we're doing 3 decimal places because they did 3 decimal places right here, okay? All right. Now, step 2, complete the table. The target save percentage is 0.650. Okay. Now, shot saved will be 3 plus X, and the shots faced would be 11 plus X. So write the equation. Okay. So shots saved is 3 plus X, and the shots faced is 11 plus X. And that's equal to the target save percentage, which is 0.650. Okay, go ahead and finish up example 1. All right, example 2. Jake can mulch a garden in 30 minutes. Together, Jake and Ross can mulch the same garden in 12 minutes. How much time t in minutes will it take Ross to mulch the garden when working alone? Write the equation in the form Jake's rate times minutes worked plus Ross's rate times minutes worked equals 1. All right, step 1. Identify the important information. Jake can mulch a garden in, and let me go back to the paragraph. It says 30 minutes. Jake and Ross can mulch the same garden in 12 minutes. Okay. Step 2, complete the table. Okay. Garden's mulch is 1. Mulch time for Jake is 30. Okay. And then work rate would be 1 divided by 30. Okay. Now, Ross, 1 garden mulched. Mulch time, we don't know. Let's call that time t. So his rate is 1 divided by t. Okay, so now we're going to write the equation. So Jake's rate, which is 1 divided by 30 times minutes worked together, which is 12, plus Ross's rate, which is 1 divided by t, times minutes worked together, which is 12, equals 1. Okay, so the equation to determine how long it takes Ross to mulch alone is 12 divided by 30 plus 12 divided by t equals 1. All right, go ahead and finish up example 2. All right, example 3. A new ice skating rink will be approximately rectangular in shape and will have an area of 19,256 square feet. Using the equation for the perimeter P of the skating rink in terms of its width W, what are the dimensions of the skating rink if the perimeter is 630 feet? All right, so we need to identify the important information. The perimeter of the rink is 630. The area of the rink is 19,256. Okay. Now we also need to know that the area of a rectangle is length times width, and the perimeter is 2 times length plus 2 times width. Okay. So let's start out with area. We know the area of the rink is 19,256 equals length times width. Okay. And then the perimeter we know is 630 equals 2 times length plus 2 times W. All right. Now what we need to do is solve the area equation for L or W, substitute into the perimeter equation so we can solve for one of the variables. So let's go ahead and solve for L. So we have 19,256 equals L times W. So now what we're going to do is we're going to divide W by both sides. Okay. Well, W divided by W is 1. So L equals 19,256 divided by W. We're going to substitute that in for this L right here. Okay. So we have 630 equals 2 times 19,256 divided by W plus 2W. Okay. Now, we're now going to solve this for W. And what we need to do is multiply everything by W. Okay. So that we can get rid of the denominator. Okay. So we're going to multiply everything by W. So W times 630 is 630 W equals 2W times 19,256 which we can actually, this isn't wrong, but let's go ahead and multiply the 2 times 19,256. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So 2 times 19,256, so that's 38,512 W divided by W plus 2W squared. Okay. Now the reason we multiplied by W is for this reason right here. W divided by W is 1. So now we're left with 630 W equals 2W squared plus 38,512. Okay. Now to solve, what we need to do is subtract 630W from both sides. Okay. So now we have 2W squared minus 630W plus 38,512. okay, equals 0. Now, what we want to do next is we want to reduce this by dividing everything by 2. We have to divide everything by 2 because of the equal sign. Now, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that's w squared minus, let's do 630 divided by 2 is 315 w, okay? And then 38,512 divided by 2. So 38,512 divided by 2. Okay, it's 19,256. Equals 0. Okay, so now we know 2 parentheses equals 0. W, W, okay. Now we need to find out what two numbers multiply to give us 19,256 and combine to be negative 315. Okay, so what we can do is I'm going to go to On, New Document, No. Let's go to Add Lesson Spreadsheets. Okay, now what I want to put here is I want to put, let's call this X, let's call this Y. Okay. Now, we need to figure out all the factors of 19,000. So what we're going to do is here, put 19,256 divided by X. Press Enter. We want a variable reference because we want it based on X. Press OK. Okay. So now we know that when X is negative 1, this is negative. Okay. And then what we want to do is here is we want to do X times Y. Oh, I'm sorry, X plus Y, because we want them to combine to be negative 310. Okay, so again, we want to variable reference, press OK, and we want to do variable reference again, press OK. Now, that didn't combine to be negative 310, so we're going to keep going. So negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9. And you notice we're disregarding the fractions, okay, because we know we want it to be exact. Now we're at 2,415, okay, so we're just going to keep going. Negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, negative 13, negative 14, negative 15, negative 16, negative 17, negative 18, negative 19, negative 20, negative 21, negative 22, negative 23, negative 24, negative 25, negative 26, negative 27, negative 28, negative 29. Now we're at negative 29 and we're at negative 693. So we know we're getting closer, okay? Negative 30, negative 31, negative 32, negative 33, negative 34, negative 35, negative 36, negative 37, negative 38, negative 39, negative 40, negative 41, negative 41, negative 42, negative 43, negative 44, negative 45. Just gonna keep going. Negative 48, negative 49, negative 50, negative 51, negative 52, negative 53, negative 54, negative 57, negative 58. We're at negative 390, so we're getting really close. Negative 59, negative 60, negative 61, negative 62, negative 63, negative 64, negative 65, 6, negative 67, negative 68, negative 69, negative 70, negative 71, negative 72, negative 73, negative 74, negative 75, negative 76, negative 77, negative 78, negative 79, negative 80, negative 81, negative 82, negative 83. It took a while, but now we have our two numbers that multiply to give you 19,256 and combine to be negative 15. Okay, so our factors are W minus 83 and W minus 232. Okay, so now we set those equal to 0, so W minus 83 equals 0. W minus 232 equals to 0. So now we add 83 to both sides. So W equals 83. Now we add 232 to both sides. So W equals 232. So the dimensions of the ring are 83 feet by 232 feet. All right, go ahead and finish up example 3. All right, example 4. A riverboat travels at an average of 14 kilometers per hour in still water. The riverboat travels 100 kilometers east up the Wildcat River and 100 kilometers west down the river, okay, in a total of 14.5 hours. To the nearest tenth of a kilometer per hour, what was the speed of the current of the Wildcat River? All right, step 1. Identify the important information. The answer will be the average speed of the current. So the boat traveled for a total of 14.5 hours. The boat traveled east up the rivers 100 kilometers. And the boats traveled west down the rivers 100 kilometers. Okay, let C represent the speed of the current in kilometers per hour. When the boat is going upstream, the speed is equal to its speed in still water minus C. When the boat is going downstream, the speed is equal to the speed in still water plus C. Okay, so the distance upstream is 100 kilometers. Okay, and the speed is 14 minus the current. Okay, so the time is 100 divided by 14 minus C. Okay. Now, downstream, it's 100 kilometers. Okay. And the time is 100 divided by 14 plus C. Okay. Now, write the equation. Time upstream plus time downstream equals total time. So time upstream is 100 divided by 14 minus C plus time downstream is 100 divided by 14 plus C, and it equals total time of 14.5. Okay. All right. Now let's move on to the next step. All right, so we're going to solve the equation. Okay. So we're going to solve 100 divided by 14 minus C plus 100 divided by 14 plus C equals 14.5. Okay? All right. So the first thing we need to do is multiply by the common denominator. Well, the common denominator is multiply the two denominators together. So that's 14 minus c times 14 plus c. Okay? So that's 100 times 14 minus c times 14 plus c divided by 14 minus c plus 100 times 14 minus c times 14 plus c divided by 14 plus c equals 14.5 times 14 minus c times 14 plus c. Now, anything divided by itself is 1. So this is 1, this is 1. So now we multiply it. 100 times 14 is 1400 plus 100c plus 100 times 14 minus c is 1400 minus 100c equals 14.5 times, let's go ahead and FOIL this. 14 times 14 is, let's go to calculate. 14 times 14 is 196. So 196. 14 times c is plus 14c. And then negative c times 14c is minus 14c. And then negative c times negative c is negative c squared. Okay. Now we have a couple things that cancel. Okay. So let's rearrange things. So we have 1400 plus 1400 is 2800 plus 100c minus 100c equals, I'm not going to multiply yet, that's 14.5 times, well actually I guess we can cancel this here. 14c minus 14c cancels. So we're left with 14.5 times 196 minus c squared. Okay. 100c minus 100c, that cancels. Okay. So we're left with 2800 equals, let's multiply 14.5 times 196. Is 2,842. Okay. And then minus 14.5 c squared. Okay. So now we're going to subtract 2,842 from both sides. Okay. That cancels. You're left with negative 42 equals negative 14.5 c squared. Okay. So now we're going to divide negative 14.5 from both sides. Okay, this divides and becomes 1, so you're left with c squared equals negative 42 divided by, we can actually, if you want, control divide negative 42 divided by negative 14.5 is 2.89, and so let's round that to, let's just say 1 decimal place. So 2.9. Okay. Now we're going to take the square root of both sides. So we're going to take the square root of control square root of 2.9 is 1.7. Okay. Equals c. Now, almost forgot. Technically, when you take the square root, it's plus or minus. So technically, you get plus 1.7 and negative 1.7. Okay? So, but we know that we can't have negative current, so it's going to have to be the positive C equals 1.7. Okay? So the solution is C equals 1.7. Oh, I'm sorry, C equals negative 1.7. Does not make sense in context because the speed of the current cannot be negative. That's why we marked out negative 1.7. Okay? Therefore, the speed of the current is about 1.7 kilometers per hour. All right? Go ahead and finish it up and have a wonderful Wildcat day.